Tonight's headlines are brought to you in part by Coldwell Energy and McDonald's.
Good evening, Commonwealth, and thanks for watching the Channel 2 News. I'm Sally Lemus. Let's take a look at tonight's top stories. What do we really know about our waters and the living things in it? Also tonight, healthcare services becomes more convenient for community members. And housing projects are challenged due to lack of manpower. In sports, he runs fast and dreams big. Stay with us. These stories and more are next here on the Channel 2 News.
Sipping on a delicious drink from McDonald's may have you thinking, what makes these drinks just hit different? Don't overthink it. Just enjoy it. It's more than a drink. It's a McDonald's drink.
Cool off this summer with McDonald's Minute Maid Slushies. Try the new Tropical Mango or returning favorite, Strawberry Watermelon, for a limited time.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Half a day to the WAMI and good evening, Commonwealth. Today is Friday, July 15, 2022. A group of scientists are on a research mission studying coral reefs in the Pacific Ocean, and they have arrived here in the NMI. The National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, better known as NOAA, are on a research cruise conducting coral reef monitoring surveys on all the islands in the Pacific. Their ship, NOAA Rainier, is currently docked at the Saipan seaport. Public officials were given a tour of the ship and learned more about their work. Chief Scientist Kaylin McCoy states their job is to take snapshots of the reef to assess its health status. The collected data then goes to local agencies who determine what the next step is.
We live on this ship that's behind us over here, the NOAA ship Rainier, and every morning we get on these small boats and they deploy the boats off the ship, and we go out into the water and we scuba dive and we collect our data, and it's all observational data, so we're just recording what we're seeing. We're taking measurements, we're identifying corals and fish, and then when we come back to the ship we enter all of that data into a database, and once we get back to Honolulu, where we're based out of, we will do some processing of the data, and we will go through and look for trends and information that will help us to determine the health of the coral reefs.
These missions are done routinely over time. Their last trip to the Marianas was in 2017. They were scheduled to return in 2020, but the pandemic interrupted. Their last report indicates that the coral reefs in the NMI are fair.
We have noticed here, though, this visit, when we were here in 2017, there was a little bit of coral bleaching going on. So the corals were really hot, they weren't doing so well, but this time, since we've been here, we haven't seen much evidence of that, which
One of the local agencies who receives the data and conducts more research is the Division of Coastal Resources Management. Director Rich Salas states his office has observed some challenges with the current state of the NMI's coral reef. There are many factors in determining the true health status, and these impacts they see are happening on a much larger scale. CRM has been working on the long-term marine monitoring to determine the state of the coral reefs.
What I can say is that, there have been significant bleaching events in the past few years, and it'd be good to see what, the NOAA team here that have, that they're in the process of wrapping up their surveys to see what those findings are, whether they are interrelated or whether they connect with what we're seeing here at the local levels.
The NOAA group is expected to be in the NMI for at least a few more weeks. It's a clinic on wheels designed to deliver healthcare directly to the community. The Commonwealth Healthcare Corporation has acquired a brand new mobile clinic bus, expanding healthcare access by bringing the services closer to the community. The mobile clinic bus was specifically customized to have 3 separate sections for the patient's cabin, examination room, and medical observation room. It also has an HVAC system, cooler for storing medication, and a wheelchair access ramp. According to Clinic Chief Helena Palacios, this mobile clinic was made possible through the Community Development Block Grant, which is under the Northern Marianas Housing Corporation.
And we just did the minimal work. We found the vendor, we gave them the specifications that we needed to better serve our community, but NMHC through the block grant paid for it. This mobile clinic is a $400,000 vehicle. But they've also assisted us with all the various registration fees and all of those things to make sure that it's good to go.
The bus will be administered by CHCC's doctors and nurses. The staff will also be funded through a CDC Disparities Grant, which focuses on helping people access healthcare. The Stipend Board of Federally Qualified Healthcare has been working closely with CHCC to sponsor grants that helps all areas in the community receive better services. Board member David Baker says their mission is to intensify outreach services in the CNMI.
Today's exhibit, as an example, with the mobile clinic is really great for the community. We're able to get everywhere across the island for people that don't have transportation, right? And or it might be convenient for them to stop off at the clinic. Maybe it's stationed, as an example, over at the library, or maybe it's stationed one day over at the airport. And so we're able to go around the community for those people that need services, right?
The outreach services are expected to begin this coming September. CHCC management is attending concerns such as access to care and NCD issues, which Hospital Chief Esther Munya believes this bus can help resolve.
We think about what has happened in the past, how we're trying to bring healthcare to the villages and to people that really don't have access to get here. We saw that in Typhoon U2, and this is an opportunity to prepare ourselves and to really provide some outreach services and bring access to care to those that have challenges to get access care.
The shortage of contractors in the Commonwealth is the main cause of delay for housing construction. Take a listen. Out of 280 approved housing applicants under the Community Development Block Grant Recovery Program, there are only 12 projects currently under construction. Northern Marianas Housing Corporate Director Jesse Palacios states the main issue is the lack of contractors on island.
I think the CNMI was allotted 3,000 CW workers that we can bring in. No? So if the contractors can tap into that, I think we can get the numbers up real fast.
Another issue causing delay is the environmental assessment. This program is under strict regulations which NMHC must follow.
The permitting agencies, for example, HPO, they require a certified archaeologist to actually submit documentation on behalf of housing. We cannot just submit a consultation, like Section 106 consultation, because we're not archaeologists, so.
The Infrastructure Recovery Program, led by Director Marianne Terreguedo, is working closely with NMHC by allowing their archaeologists to help with consultations to complete the environmental assessment. Palasha states they are, however, in the works of hiring an archaeologist of their own.
We're also actually hiring our own archaeologists in-house, because as much as we want IRP's archaeologists to help us speed up the process, we're not the only ones that have projects. They have projects too, that for other agencies. So it's just made on a first come first serve. So with our in-house archaeologists, it's just concentrated on our projects. So it's going to be much quicker to produce those documents for HPO.
Back in October of 2020, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development granted NMHC $240 million to roll out recovery needs following Typhoon Soudelor and Super Typhoon Yutu. $84 million was allocated for housing assistance, which NMHC launched in 3 separate programs: the Homeowner Rehabilitation and Reconstruction Program, as well as the Home Buyer Program. NMHC received 4,000 applicants, but only approved 7.5%. The rest have been put on a waiting list.
For the CDBG-DR program, 80% of the money has to go to a lower income category, or lower income bracket. But what we've been experiencing is quite a few of the applicants are above that bracket. So we're only allocating 20% of that. That's why there's a waiting list, because there's only 20% of the money, but there's more than 20% have applied for the funding. Yeah.
Palacios says HUD has recently approved their CDBG mitigation grant worth $16 million. NMHC will be using $14 million to accommodate those on the waiting list, which still may not be enough.
But still, with the $14 million, it's still not enough. Because if we go back to our action plan that we provided to the community back in June or August of 2020, we identified that there are more than $400 million in deficit. We received almost $250 million, but we identified that there's $150 million more that we need to support all the housing needs.
NMHC was given 6 years to complete and execute this grant. Palacios stays hopeful in meeting the deadline. Prices at the pumps eased for the 3rd time this month. CNMI Gas Companies has reduced fuel prices by 15 cents. As of today, 1 gallon of regular gas on Saipan is $6. On Tinian, prices have decreased as well. 1 gallon of regular gas, $7.75. Rota gas stations are expected to lower their fuel prices tomorrow. The current value of $7.64 will drop to $7.49. The Commonwealth Utilities Corporation has yet to change their fuel adjustment charge. CUC has previously announced that all residential customers will be credited $150 on their next utility bill for the month of July. There are also conversations with CUC and the administration on a utility stimulus. All right, coming up, young men and women graduate boot camp today. Stay tuned.
King sea turtles and hawksbill turtles call the Mariana Islands home. They are an important part of the marine ecosystem. They are under threat, and they are protected under CNMI law. Keep plastic out of the ocean. Keep vehicles off the beach. Use the Sea Turtle Stranding Hotline if you see poaching activities or if you see a turtle in trouble. Call 287-8537 and save a turtle.
All workers have the right to a safe workplace. Employers must provide a workplace that is free from recognized hazards and comply with applicable OSHA standards, including proper reporting of injuries. Training needs to be done in a language and vocabulary employees can understand, and an OSHA information poster must be displayed prominently in the workplace. Workers, you have the right to raise a safety or health concern with your employer or OSHA without being retaliated against, and request an OSHA consultation of your workplace if you believe there are unsafe or unhealthy conditions. OSHA can help. Free assistance to identify and correct hazards is available to small and medium-sized employers without citation or penalty. So look out, speak up, and stay safe. Job safety and health, it's not only good practice, it's the law. Check out OSHA.gov or call 664-3154 or 3155.
Welcome back to the Channel 2 News. The first batch of NMIC cadets graduate this morning. These are the graduates of Nativo Division U.S. Naval Sea Cadet Corps. 25 of the NMI's young men and women have trained hard over the last 9 days and were challenged mentally, physically, and academically.
Every minute was spent sharpening these cadets to the highest standards of curriculum, including physical fitness, close order and marching drills, general military training, seamanship, safety, firefighting training, and a host of special activities, all of which is consistent to the mission and the goals of the United States Navy Sea Cadet Corps. Bravo Zulu, cadets.
This is the first Saipan chapter and the newest unit in the U.S. Naval Sea Cadet Corps. The Nativo Division was made possible through Captain Michael Bacher, Larry Limtaco, and Ray Boss Alvarez, and the organization is comprised of committed volunteers.
Credit to the success of Nativo Division goes to our officers, all the dedicated adult volunteers, help from our sponsors, and especially the VFW as our primary sponsor. Relentless support from the cadets, parents, big supporters, big thank you, cadet parents, thank you. And especially to the hard work, time, and commitment of each one of our cadets. Cadets, we are proud of you.
Chief of Staff Will Castro, who is also a former Sea Cadet, shares where the experience and knowledge can bring someone to.
Those young cadets standing there in the sun, it's not without rhyme and reason. It's discipline, because the world will challenge them with even greater things. And if you can't even stand at rest in the hot sun and look forward with the proper decorum, how are you going to lead the nation in its most trying of circumstances like this governor has with COVID? That's the foundation of leadership, discipline, and character, and from that, respect and integrity. So I thank you.
Earning this title may lead to endless possibilities for this youth group. The Sea Cadets proud of their accomplishments.
It was fun, rewarding, and I learned a lot.
The training has been hard, but like it's supposed to improve your character as a person.
Tiring. No more petty officer. No more. We go home, we sleep. We go home, sleep, eat what we want. Yeah. Wake up late. Sleep late too. I'm kidding. I'm gonna stick to the diet.
One parent whose son received an award in the ceremony expresses her sentiments towards the program.
I wasn't expecting my son to be on the top, but we're very proud of him. And can't thank the Nativo enough. This is such a good experience for the children of the CNMI. But thank you so much.
The Nativo Division hopes to expand to Tinian and Rota in the next few years. CHCC continues to see an uptick in positive COVID-19 cases and hospitalizations. 238 individuals have been confirmed positive for COVID-19, with 5 individuals hospitalized. CHCC reports cases in Saipan and Tinian, none on Rota so far. The CNMI has moved into COVID-19 community level medium, encouraging residents to wear a mask based on your personal preference. Those who are immunocompromised should speak with their healthcare provider about treatments and other precautions. Self-testing is also recommended. Individuals may report their positive test result online at www.staysafecnmi.com/self-reporting for more information on treatments and official certifications for work. All right, folks, don't go anywhere because sports is up next.
My doctor gave me the pills, so they must be safe, right?
If taken exactly as prescribed, short-term use can be safe, but painkillers have real risk. Misusing an opioid painkiller can cause serious harm, including addiction and death, and misuse can happen quite easily. Make sure you never mix them with alcohol, antidepressants, sedatives, or sleep aids. And if you are prescribed an opioid, you need to tell your doctor about any other drugs, including herbal supplements that you are taking. It only takes a little to lose a lot.
This project was supported by a grant from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and the Commonwealth Healthcare Corporation. Contents are solely the responsibility of CHCC and do not necessarily represent the official views of the CDC or the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
The Tan Su Lin Foundation promotes the culture of giving back. The foundation and its generous partners are committed to supporting programs that include health, education, and sports. Initiatives that promote arts and culture, the environment, and tourism will benefit our community and our residents. Giving back and making a difference will help ensure that the island paradise we call home will be a better place to live.
Tonight's sports brought to you in part by Tan Holdings through the Tan Su Lin Foundation, making communities a better place to live.
Buenas sports fans.
For tonight's KSPN Sports Report, we introduce a young, motivated, and talented athlete who wants to take running all the way. You have to set yourself goals so you can push harder. Desire is the key to success. A quote by Usain Bolt.
Young Star Shining, brought to you by the Tan Su Lin Foundation.
Tonight, we feature a 16-year-old athlete from Saipan International School who excels in the sport of track and field.
Hi, my name is Rex. I'm 16. I go to SIS and I'm going to be a junior this year.
His dad, who is also an avid fan of running, introduced him to the sport, and the rest is history.
My dad was a really big factor in pushing me into getting into running, and I took his word for it, and then I got into it, and I can now understand why it's an enjoyable hobby and sport.
Pixley started joining fun runs and short course races when he was only 10 years old.
When I was about 10 or 11 years old, I would join the 5K races, the fun runs with my dad, and then I wasn't fast. I would do all right because I was just a little kid, and then I realized that it was something that I was a little bit good at, and so yeah, I started to train with my dad when I was 12, 13, and then now here I am trying to compete competitively.
He is a member of the NMI Athletics national team who competed in the Pacific Mini Games last month.
For me, it was a great experience. It was a very humbling experience because seeing all these athletes from the different islands and how fast they are and how serious they take the sport, it was really an inspiration for me to push myself harder for a future.
Pixie's plan is to pursue running in the future, especially in college.
I really want to pursue this because I think it gives me a really good opportunity to get to a good spot at a young age, can maybe kind of publicize myself, to get into something good for the future. Yes.
But right now, his goal is to improve his speed and endurance.
I need to work on my endurance, I need to work on my speed, and there's a lot of things I need to work on. And for me, I'm just sort of a beginning athlete in this whole thing. And with the help of my coach and then my other coach, which is my dad, I'll be able to achieve greater things with my running.
Representing the NMI in the Pacific Mini Games is one of the greatest things that has happened to him in this sport.
I guess representing CNMI in the mini games was a really great moment for me because it was my first time to really experience what it's like to be in the Pacific Mini Games. And yeah, it was a really great, humbling experience for me.
Competing with pro athletes during the mini games motivates him to be better and to be one of the best someday.
But still, I was really grateful to be chosen to be put in the actual NMI national team to represent. But yeah, that's one of the main things that has pushed me to start training harder, is to really start taking it seriously, to get to the level of those guys that I was competing with, because they're truly an inspiration to me.
And to those young athletes out there, here is his advice.
My advice to you would be to just keep on training. And if you think you have a little bit of talent at a young age, then you really need to realize that and then push yourself to become faster and faster, because that's a great opportunity for people.
Young Star Shining, brought to you by the Tan Su Lin Foundation.
Hey, golfers, come north and practice your game at the Marianas Driving Range. New Year's local specials. 10-piece coupon books available for just $60. That's a $10 savings. Want to get really good? Come work on your swing every day for just $99 per month. It's our practice pass and you're going to love it. Grab your passes and go straight to the range. You can social distance and chip all at the same time, and the views are free. Reserve now at marianastrekking.com. You can pay online, open 7 days a week.
Make you an offer you can't refuse. Bring your friends in for the best night out at Godfather's Bar in Garabin. Sing along to your favorite hits with live music from the Gigolos. Godfather's has daily food and drink specials like Taco Tuesdays. The best pizza on island every day of the week. Located on Palm Street in Garabin. Everybody is family at Godfather's Bar. Bada bing, bada boom.
I'm Dre, one of the personal trainers here at Goat's Gym, and today we're going to go over the cable lat pull down. Now what we want to remember with machine-based exercises, there's really no right or wrong way of doing it. There's multiple ways of executing the exercise. What you'll often see is lifters executing the exercises in this fashion, and instead of working the muscles of your upper back, you're just irritating the shoulder joint, which is what you don't want. Alright, let's clean that up a little bit. Let's sit upright a little bit more. As you get a full stretch, bring it down with your elbows coming in. So in general, as you set up this way, you're going to be feeling the majority of the impulse right here, which is your lats. He's getting a full stretch, and he's getting a full squeeze in the bottom.
And for your KSPN weather report, partly sunny with isolated showers, east wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly cloudy with isolated showers, east-southeast wind around 10 miles per hour. High 87, low 78, a humidity of 82%. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with isolated showers, east-southeast wind 9 to 11 miles per hour. High 87, low 78. The marine forecast, light to gentle trade winds and combined seas of 3 to 5 feet will prevail across the Marianas through the weekend. East wind 10 knots, wind waves 2 feet or less, east swell 3 to 4 feet. The sunrise will be at 5:54 a.m., high tide 10:16 p.m., low tide 3:07 p.m., and the sunset, you can catch that at 6:51 p.m. All right, folks, there you have it. That is your Marianas edition of the news, sports, and weather here on a Friday. We thank you so much for watching. We hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you back here on Monday.